Right, this International Migrants Day, Raquel and Nuno, always a very interesting day, I think, from a Portuguese perspective. But what do you make of it? Does it mean anything to you, Raquel, to hear that it's International Migrants Day?
As the Portuguese, we have such a history of migrations out, outside and in. So in the previous centuries, we are such a melting pot of different people and DNAs that it's like it's crazy. And if you want to see all the influences of people so far away from us, like China, and it was the Portuguese that went there, mind you. Okay, so that much away from us, but then the influences are still here. Like Sha, the word Sha is the word Sha in Chinese, but in English it's tea. So in Portuguese, the originality of the word was Portuguese, and then they used it, and then the British took that word from China. The Moorisk types of buildings that we have, the North African influences that we have, the Arabian influences that we have. So that from a point of view of incoming migration, of course. But then throughout the 50s, 60s, 70s, we've had a huge migration off the country because the country was really poor at the time. And so everybody wanted to find better financial conditions. And so families went away, which you can see now, like in August or at Christmas time, all coming over to the villages. And so all the villages get huge, get all the people here. So we are quite used to the numbers being very high in terms of people that are leaving and people that are coming over. And now we have another class of people leaving, which is the students, unfortunately, that are set on studying abroad and having a
is that starting earlier then? So where they might have gone abroad to work, they're actually going abroad to study now?
Yes. Right, so at college, either through a year, like they do a master's in some other country, like they do the first part of the course here in Portugal and then the master's in another country, or Erasmus, so 1 year off in some other country, or even postgraduate studies in somewhere else. Yes.
Very interesting. And on your points, or one of them made there, and I shared this earlier on. I think it's amazing that the Portuguese, 2 million living abroad, but with all their descendants, that's a diaspora of 5 million, which is 40% of the national territory population that we are moving among here. It's quite incredible, across 5 continents as well. What would you add to that, Nuno?
By the way, remember, because I know that you know this, Carl, that the second city with the more Portuguese people living,
Paris,
in France. So
the second biggest Portuguese city is not Porto, it's Paris.
Exactly.
It's also incredible. And again, it's part of this quietness of the Portuguese, isn't it? We talked about the revolution, we talked about the constitution, but the diaspora is kind of quiet and modest as well, isn't it? Your government is referring to it as a strategic international asset. Do you think that's used to its maximum capability? I don't get a sense of that at all. That Portuguese people around the rest of the world aren't very noisy or obvious. There are clearly a lot of them, and I don't think they are being used as a strategic international asset at all, are they? Would you say, Nuno?
We are not very noisy, it's true, compared with the Spanish people. And once again, I'm half Portuguese, half Spanish, so I know what I'm talking about.
41 starts, yes.
But what internationally it seems that is happening is that from the other countries are looking to the Portuguese as the diplomats persons. So we have Portuguese on high positions of globally organizations like Barroso, António Costa, and so on.
António Terres.
Yes.
So this is because, yes, we do a lot of bad things. It's true. But I think that when compared with Spanish, with British, with whatever. And this is related also with what Raquel said, that we were the first one abolish slavery, the death penalty.
Yeah.
So people, I think that the international, they look to the Portuguese as these guys that
Are safe. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? And it's also a relief to get rid of some of those people to the other parts of the world, isn't it? Politically,
and also we are so little country that we cannot damage no one. So let
very
these guys do their stuff.
Yes, I hadn't seen it quite that well. That's why I love talking to you, because I always get to learn something, and that calmness is embodied in, even though some of those politicians aren't maybe not so popular here after how their performance domestically. They are a calm presence elsewhere, aren't they? They are exported and put into, given that in many ways, my experience of Portuguese culture, the first thing is calma, take a breath, right? That's not bad on the international stage, is it? That's right. The British are like, what? The Portuguese are like calma, which is great. And then the other word that we had as well, if you bring it a desenrascar into the political world as well, that's got to be good, isn't it? That's got to be good. There, right? We've only got a few minutes left. Fee is telling us, I did Erasmus in Estonia. What a wonderful thing to do. It's a great opportunity for young people. Opened my eyes to many things, and I came back with lots of ideas and a better perspective on what's good, not so good in Portugal. Isn't that fantastic? And thank goodness you're here. I'm assuming you're here, Fee. In 2013, Portuguese were 16% of the total population in Luxembourg.
Slowly but surely, we're conquering.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. It's really kind of quiet this time. Hit that like button, folks. Antonio. Yeah, can we have those stats again this time next year, Antonio? We'll keep an eye on this situation as it unfolds. There is an opportunity for Portugal to attract more foreign students as the exchange rate with the euro becomes more favourable as well. Thank you for that, Pete, and all your other comments this morning. So let me take this opportunity to thank you both. I've really enjoyed this particular combo